In this podcast episode, Harmeet Dhillon, the Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division of the United States Department of Justice, discussed her mission to combat discrimination against white Christians and expose corruption within the DOJ. Dhillon's insights shed light on the challenges facing law enforcement, the implications of consent decrees, and the broader societal issues of discrimination and civil rights. Dhillon began by emphasizing the promise of the Trump administration to reform the government in a manner that reflects the will of the people. Upon her confirmation, she encountered a DOJ Civil Rights Division filled with career lawyers who were resistant to the new agenda. This resistance led to a significant number of lawyers resigning, resulting in a staffing crisis within the division. Dhillon described the emotional turmoil among the remaining staff, including crying sessions, as they grappled with the shift in priorities. One of the key issues Dhillon addressed was the open discrimination in hiring practices, particularly in cities like Chicago under Mayor Brandon Johnson. Johnson's public admission of preferential hiring based on race raised alarms for Dhillon, prompting her to initiate a federal civil rights investigation into the city's practices. She highlighted the broader trend of discrimination against white individuals and Christians, asserting that such practices are not only morally wrong, but also illegal under federal law. Dhillon delved into the topic of consent decrees, which have become a tool for the DOJ to impose federal oversight on police departments. She explained that these decrees often arise from investigations into alleged systemic racism within law enforcement agencies. However, Dhillon argued that the implementation of these decrees has led to unintended consequences, including increased crime rates in cities subjected to federal oversight. She cited the Ferguson effect, where police officers become hesitant to engage in proactive policing due to fear of repercussions, resulting in a rise in violent crime. The financial burden of compliance with consent decrees is another critical issue. Dhillon revealed that cities can spend upwards of $200 million over a decade to comply with these federal mandates, often benefiting a select group of lawyers and monitors, while failing to improve public safety. She expressed her commitment to reviewing existing consent decrees and holding accountable those who exploit the system for personal gain. Throughout the discussion, Dhillon emphasized the DOJ's responsibility to uphold the civil rights of all Americans, not just specific groups. She criticized the previous administration's approach, which she described as weaponizing the law against certain demographics. Dhillon's vision for the DOJ is one that applies civil rights statutes evenly and without bias, ensuring that all individuals receive equal protection under the law. A significant part of Dhillon's agenda involves addressing anti-Christian bias in various sectors, including government and education. She highlighted instances where Christian beliefs have been marginalized or attacked, particularly in public institutions. Dhillon expressed her determination to protect the rights of individuals to practice their faith freely and without discrimination. Dhillon's insights also touched on the need for accountability within the legal profession. She pointed out the disparity in how lawyers are treated based on their political affiliations, noting that some attorneys face disbarment for representing clients associated with conservative causes. In contrast, corrupt monitors and lawyers involved in the consent decree process often escape scrutiny despite their unethical practices. Looking ahead, Dhillon expressed optimism about the potential for reform within the DOJ and the broader civil rights landscape. She is committed to dismantling the culture of discrimination and ensuring that the rights of all Americans, particularly those of white Christians, are protected. Dhillon's approach is rooted in a belief in individual rights and responsibilities, rejecting the notion of collective punishment based on race or religion.